welcome to our new live session with artists and designers all over the world. And today our guest is Luisa Caldari. She's a very talented tapestry artist and she creates very beautiful textured artworks with natural threads and not only tapestry, but it's also kind of a format of art, really very beautiful art. So today we will talk with Luisa how to find your artistic medium, especially if it's not such traditional one as paint or something like this. And for example, we will look through her artistic journey, how she switched from fashion to tapestry art, and what helps her being a modern tapestry artist, and what is also very important for many artists, how to sell your art. Luisa, if you hear me, please send me a request and I will add you to the live. And if you want to get all the highlights from our live sessions with artists and designers, you're very welcome to subscribe to the newsletter. You can find the link in my bio on the description, and then you will get all the tips from these lives with designers and artists all over the world in your inbox. And I see the request. Yes, and please, if you have any questions, hi.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Luisa. How are you?
Fine. Good morning from Brazil.
Good morning.
Happy
Thank you.
to be here.
Thank you for joining.
It's a
So,
pleasure.
today we will talk about your art and your artistic journey. It's really very interesting to know how did it start? What was the beginning of your artistic journey? I know that you were a fashion designer, or you were more in fashion. Can you share with us this story, please?
Yes. I just want to start saying that my English is a little bit rusty, so if I commit too many mistakes, I'm
My, my,
sorry.
my, Mine too. So,
Okay, so I feel better now. Well, I have a degree in fashion design, and since I was a little girl, like a kid, this really small kid, I always loved it to create and to draw mostly. And fashion really catched me when I was like a teenager because it's just like so nice that you can speak with your clothes and this kind of movements that fashion can make for us to the window that we can show the world who we are by our clothes. And it's just like I started to have interest in creating the clothes, not only drawing them, but sewing them. So I started like the sewing classes when I were like 12, 13 years old. So fashion came really early for me in my life. But then I studied fashion. I worked in good brands of Brazil, big brands. But with the years coming, I started to realize that everything that I loved most on fashion, that is like the authenticity, our chance to be different and express ourselves, it was kind of losing, for me. So then I started to rethink everything of what I was doing with fashion.
Mhm. But you had collaborations with different fashion brands,
Yes, I've
right?
worked like 9 years on the last brand that I've worked here in the south
It's a
of
lot.
Brazil. Yes, it's a lot. It's like a life. And in São Paulo, I worked like 2, 3 years in different places. So I started really soon working with fashion, and the first places were like small, not small places, but like more studio places. So refined clothes with better finishing. So this part was like the beginning for me, and it was really nice to see how everything worked for real, because in the university is a little bit not so true what they show us inside the university. It feels like we can create anything and do anything, and when you go to the market, things are really different because you have to sell. Like, this is the reality of every work we do.
And
And
what
here,
exactly?
okay,
Sorry.
no,
What exactly did you do working on the big brands in fashion?
I started as a fashion designer. So in the first place, I entered as I don't know how to say it in English, but in a smaller category, but I was like the helper
Mhm.
of the room. But as I was really smart and thirsty for learning and for giving myself and for being part of that, so I became a fashion designer really fast. I was still in college, in the university. So I was like on my second year of university, and I already was a fashion designer this place. I grew up really fast, but it was like I was drawing clothes and helping with the part of the creation of the clothes itself, like helping the sewers and the, I don't know if it's who makes the models, like I don't
Like,
know how to say it in English.
I
And
suppose you make the constructed, not only drawing, but then you construct it and make all the measurements to make it right to the feet.
yes, I was
Uh, right?
helping in this part. But the principal part of a fashion designer is to draw, and the other things we help. Like, we say what we want. Oh no, I want shorter. I want longer. When we are doing seeing the cloth in the model. But on my last work here on south of Brazil, I was as well not only the fashion designer, but I was the person that was um, kind of in front of the design team, so creating the patterns. I was the one that helped all the team of the designers. It was like 12 designers, and like creating the the patterns as well. Like, oh, let's do this floral, let's do this other thing, let's do a geometric, and then we created all the patterns for the brand. And this was really nice. It was like a part of the work that I started
Mhm.
loving the most, because it was more free. The freedom was bigger to create. Like, the clothes, it needs to be kind of the same of everywhere, because people are a little bit um,
You,
becoming
you,
the same persons of with the same clothes. Everyone wants that kind of pants and that kind of t-shirt, but with the patterns we have a little bit of freedom itself to create.
it's more like you work with what you would like to draw instead of the customers want to buy. But anyway, in patterns the same. We're following some trends and
Yes,
rules, but yeah, I'm sure that here is more freedom in drawing patterns. So
yes,
drawing
because
pattern,
you have
creating
a
pattern.
little bit more of freedom to create the colors and this kind of stuff.
So this was the best part of working fashion designer, and what maybe you can give some examples what was the hardest for you, because 9 years is really a lot, and it's interesting to know about this part of your artistic journey and profession. What some complicated maybe experiences
Yes,
did you meet?
and it was nine years in one brand. So at the total, it was almost 14 years
You
working
look,
with fashion.
you look like you're 20, I don't know, three. When, when have you started?
Yes, but I'm not so young as sometimes people think I'm younger of what I am. I have 36 years old now. So I've started my first job I entered with 19 years old. So I really started early. And it's like I think the most difficult part is the demand. Is like you need to be so organized because things are going so fast in fashion, and you need to have like some sensors to catch in the air what is going to happen in the next years, because you are never working on what is going on now, you know. It's you need to see the future. It's like this because you are drawing the collection that will be launched on the stores 2 years ahead, or 1 year and a half. So you need to
Mhm.
know what will still be working in this time. So this is the most difficult part. Your mind is always looking to the future.
Mhm. And what led you move from fashion design to tapestry art?
Uh, I think it was a lot of things, not only one thing. And of course, the transaction started like so. It always existed in me, the feeling and and the feeling to be an artist. You know, since I was a kid, I always loved to draw, to paint, to do embroidery and work with my hands. So I thought that in fashion I would be able to do all of this. But then when I moved from São Paulo to South, is like it was like a really shocking change of lifestyle, because São Paulo is I'm not from São Paulo capital, I'm from the countryside, but I've lived for like some years in São Paulo. I studied there and I worked there, and the city of São Paulo is really busy and it's still going all day long. It doesn't stop, never stops. So my routine there was so different when I changed it to the south. And here's like I live in it's a beach city, so everything is low and things were so different. And I came here and it was like, what am I going to do here? Because I arrived home too early in São Paulo. I was like it was like 2 3 hours to be in my home after work, and here it was like 30 minutes. And what am I going to do with my time, you know? And then I started to doing things with my hands again. I found this time for it. So I started to do embroidery again and working with different things and different mediums. And then I saw some images on internet. I think it was on Pinterest, of something that I love it. It was like the textiles on the wall. I didn't know about this. It was like this year is going to be 10 years that I've started Tapestry. So in that time, I didn't know what was that. So I asked my husband, like, do you think you can build something for me to try to do this? And he's a designer as well. And he said, oh, okay, let's try. And he made like a frame, a simple model of frame to weave. And then I made like three first pieces. And I always say that once I've started, I'd never stop it anymore. It was like so vicious for me, like, oh, this is what I want to do. I love this. You know, the feeling was so enthusiastic. And then I went to a fair, to a self fair with my husband. He was going to be part of this fair, and he took me with him. And I've put my three tapestries inside my bag and went with him. And I've sold them. So the first piece that I've made, I don't have it. It's sold. I've sold. And it was like, whoa, I can sell these things. People are interested in something that I have made with my own hands. And this started. So this little thing started inside of me. And in parallel with my fashion design work, I've started the tapestries. I worked for I have been in this industry like 9 years in this brand, and 7 of these 9 years, I made the two things at the same time. So it came to a point that I've realized that my work in this industry, in this brand, it was like, I don't think they're going to give me more than this that I have today. And I wanted more, you know? I wanted to be recognized of everything that I was doing in this brand. But I tried to talk with them, and then I tried to change something in my routine, like can I come 4 days instead of 5 days, because I was getting a little bit tired of the double routine and my agenda was getting so full. But no, they were like, no, no, it's impossible. This brand is like this, we can do changes. And then I said, okay, can I be like the leader of the design as I am already this? No, it's I. And then I say, okay, I'm choosing myself, I'm choosing my work. And then I changed my my path. It was like this. I choose it to be an artist in full time. And it was really scary in the beginning because I was doing the both things in the same time for 7 years, but I wasn't doing only the art part full time day. And then it was like a little bit shocking for me. But I have the courage and changed this path of my life.
Your story sounds it's really very inspiring. And you're really brave that you sell your first piece that you made, that you just sell it right away. I think it's very important because many artists can store their artworks and not even they don't even show it to someone because we can feel very vulnerable about sharing our art. And I'm really happy
Yes.
to hear that you just went there and sell it. What, by the way, what was the size of your first artworks?
It wasn't so big because my frame wasn't that big. I think it was like 20
Mm-hmm.
centimeters to
Mm-hmm.
50.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that big. It was like, but this first piece as well, it's printed in magazines of Brazil because, you know, the fiber art in Brazil, it have is really big point in the 70s, and we had like great artists here of of fiber artists. But then it vanished, and I feel that when I started and when I showed what I was doing, everyone was like a little bit wooed, you know, like, look, tapestry it still exists, and it's like it's so different now. And I don't know was the way I've made the way I create my pieces. I don't know, but it was fantastic because this first piece I don't have it anymore because I've sold, and it's in magazines like Vogue magazine, and it was such a nice thing for me. You know, it gives me a lot of courage to continue this kind of uh, response of the public, you know. So this is a thing that I like to say to the artists. Sometimes we look of what we made and we think like, oh, I don't want to show this, it's not good enough, or oh, I don't want to sell it because it's so important for me, or something like, oh, it doesn't I won't be able to sell of the value that I want to have, but I want to earn. But it's like, give a try, sell it. Because when you sell something, it doesn't matter how much you will sell it. It's like you made it. Someone looked at of your piecework and your artwork and said, I want this in my house. I don't know who is the artist. I don't know if it's starting. I don't care about the price, if it's cheap or no, but the beginnings are like this. And you have to do this because when you sell, you think inside, I will do more, I will sell more. And this is the way you can grow. Because if you stay with everything around you, it's like, I think that the artworks keep looking at you like, we still here. You don't need to do anymore, you know? It's like, sell it. Just be free of them. Create and sell and put in the world and see what people will think. You will only grow if you know what people are thinking. You don't need to care of what they think, but it's good to know that you are having someone looking at you.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful advice. Thank you very much. And so you left your day job in fashion, and at that moment, did you already have some exhibitions with Tapestry Art? On what stage was your art business with Tapestry when you left your job in fashion?
It was like in a good stage. I think it like I'm a little bit conservative in this kind of things. I wouldn't left my job without some stability within my art things. And in some point of my daily routine, I was like, okay, so I have this job, this full-time job that I receive a good salary. Okay, I don't want to stay in this job forever. So what can I do? Okay, I will keep the money. I will do something to, I won't spend the money. So then I will have like a guarantee to sustain myself when I get out of the job. And it was like this was my way of think. So I've started thinking on leaving like 3 4 years before I left for real. And I've worked the like a crazy girl. Like I was in full-time job daily. Tonight I was working tapestries. On the weekends I was working on tapestries. And so the only thing that I was doing was working. And I think like this gave me like the potential to grow, because when you don't have to worry about the money, you know, like, oh, I need to sell my art to sustain myself, you can be a little bit freer, free on what you are creating. So like I've enjoyed this opportunity that was in my hand, like create anything you want, try anything you want. You don't need to be sustained by these artworks. So this made me like gave me force to do what I was mostly in love with. And I think that this put it my work in a stage like with recognition stage. So I've made expositions. I've already had made like 3 big design fairs. So I was already recognized in the field of design in Brazil, not so much in the art field, because we have some steps to grow here in Brazil with the tapestry art field. But design field, I was already well staged. Uh, and then I was looking at all these things like, okay, I already have some recognized in my work that I'm doing. I have money to sustain myself. Let's do it, you know. So I think I was in a good level.
Can you share with us, please, how have you gained that recognition? What strategy did you have with exhibitions? So you started to create a tapestry. It was it's your passions, and you spend nights on weaving, and weaving. What was the steps? Did you contact some galleries or magazines, or just maybe went to some markets, local markets?
Okay. I haven't went to local markets because here where I live today is like art is not the most important thing. It's like a more touristic place to enjoy the nature and beaches and this kind of things. But I am from São Paulo, so I know some people there. I have a sister that lives there. But I I think that I was so busy working in the brand and working in my things that I haven't thought too much what I was doing. It happens. It all the things was happening naturally. It was like I am doing this because I love this, and people were seeing that it was like an honest work, you know, like it was sincere, it was a pure work. But for sure, my husband, he already was inside the design field of Brazil, and he helped me sometimes of some ways, like we started creating things together. So he was invited to do a design fair, and he asked me if I wanted to create something together. And this was like a really good point for me, because then we created a lamp, a floor lamp, that he made all the structure, and I've made
Decorative
yeah, the
part.
part that comes, yeah, the lamp comes down that illuminates. And we created a chair together. And then we made this design fair, and it was fantastic because it was really new what we were showing. And at this point, I think that things started happen more for me, because it was like I already made some little fairs in São Paulo. I was in like Instagram. That time Instagram was so different than now. It was like really work it, you know, like it wasn't so competitive, the things inside the Instagram. And things came like this, a little natural. And I never stopped creating and creating products. So I think it was impossible not to see what I was doing, because I was really giving myself in the things I was working with. But still today, I'm not represented by any gallery. So I've thrilled my journey, my path, all by myself. It was like I've started gaining force in internet, because living so far from Sao Paulo, the easiest way was the internet for me. Like I will show what I'm doing here on Instagram, Pinterest, and website, and things came naturally. I never had someone helping me to find places to make expositions or be in magazines. It was all like it happened.
So, how do you find clients who wants to buy your tapestry? Are all your clients find you organically on Instagram? Just so you don't use any promotions, sponsored advertisement for
Yes,
that?
mostly is organic.
That's great.
And it's like, yes, that's great. You know, my website, it can only be sold in Brazil, but you can access in any country, and you can see all the products and contact me. But normally, like in a normal day, if I have 20 entries in my website, probably 80% are from abroad. It's
Mhm.
like I don't know how to explain it. I think it's like give your soul on what you're doing, believe in yourself, and things will happen. You know, it's like there are so many ways to to get there, and you need to choose what you want to do. I've never chosen to have someone showing my works, because for so many years it wasn't necessary for me because I wasn't creating to sell. Instead, it was selling, but that wasn't my point. I was creating to tell the world who I was, to take something inside of me because I needed to say something. And the tapestries were the best way for me. It's like, here I can be free. Everything that I want to create that I can't do in the brand that I was working, I am creating here is like my place to be myself. This was my focus, you know. It wasn't selling. It was like, I need to take this out of me and put it somewhere. So this this the selling part is like, it's a consequence, I think. If you work hard and believe in what you're doing, you will sell. This is the way I think, and for
It,
me, it works.
it works. Can you tell us what message do you put in your artwork? What you want to say others when you create your beautiful tapestry?
Um, it's like, for me, sometimes I really don't know what I want to say, and I don't know who will see and for who I'm creating. I just need to create is something like this. And what I want to con- conquer with my creations is like people who are looking for them, just to find themselves, even if for some little seconds, to have a time for them to look to the artwork and say and feel something, you know. It's not, I don't want to give you the answer, I am giving you the opportunity to think. So it's like, for me, the fiber art, it can it can bring you to something of your life. Here in Brazil, we say like affective memories, you know. It's, I don't know if in English it works. For us, it's memórias afetivas. It's the affective things that you live it in some moment of your life that brings you like a good hug, you know, like a memory of some place that you were secure and you were only yourself, and you don't thought about being accepted by anyone. And if I can just make someone look at my work and stare it for like seconds and don't think in anything, just feel, because the fiber, I think it gives you a little bit of this warm, you know, you put your eyes on it and it's like relaxing, because it's it's just like a hug, you know. It's like, I am here. I don't want, I'm not saying for you to think in anything. I don't want to give you rules. I work like this, you know. I've never learned how to do tapestry. I've learned it all by myself, of trying and making mistakes and creating my way to work. So it's like this. I'm not, my art is not telling you like, is this and that's the end. You need to see this when you look to my art. Oh, I'm talking about a special subject, and it's this. No, my art is like to give you a time to think about you and everything you have lived until here. This is what I want to express.
When I look at them, actually, I want to touch them because they're so beautiful. That's true.
Yeah.
Um, is it for the is it for forbidden to touch the tapestry?
No, no, it's not forbidden. And the thing that I'm always looking the most is it um to make it strong enough to be touched and to not get damaged, you know? Like, it's impossible not having the need to touch it because it's so warm and so, come on, come here, touch me, like. So I want people to interact with them, so I'm always trying to make some finishes that will let you do this without damaging the art, without like You won't the piece is like this, and when you touch it won't stay like this, you know. So I'm always looking something to make them stronger.
Mhm.
Just as
And do you create
myself, I want to be stronger every day.
and do you create tapestry like on demand when somebody asks you to make a commission, or is it works only like a series of art that you imagined and then created, and then you can buy what I've created, but I am not going to create something that you ask. In,
No, I do the both things,
uh,
but mostly uh, it depends like the time that I am in my life, you know. I when I left my full-time job, I wasn't like in the command of my art studio. I didn't have a space to work, so I was working at my home. So like for 1 year, almost 2 years, I was only doing like by demand, because I needed this time to set myself what would be my next steps. So when I work on demand, it's like people come to me and say, "Oh, I want an artwork from you, and I want it to be like this size and that size." And I always ask to send me pictures where the artwork will live. Like it will be in your bedroom, it will be on your living room. So give me some pictures so I can inspire myself to create something with my personality, but at the same time that fits your house, because I don't want to put something that doesn't fit your house. You know, I want you to love it and to always, all the times that you look at it, you will say, "Oh, this is a nice artwork inside my house. It is a part of my house," you know. So people send me the pictures, and this way I create like the color palette, and after that I create the design, and I will showing pictures of the process. It's like I never do something like, "Oh, can you do this color palette in this project?" No, I will create everything, but I will do my best to make it for your house. It's for you. So I work this way. Uh, this last year, I haven't done so many because it's like I've said, it depends the moment. Some moments you want, and in some moments you want just to create what is inside of you, or create a new series, or you know, it depends. But I like to work in demand because it gives me a flashback of my fashion design job,
mhm.
because it's like, but like a haute couture job, because you are creating something especially for someone. This is so nice.
By the way, how do you think what experience from fashion design helped you now when you're a tapestry artist?
Oh, so much, because I haven't let my fashion design behind, my fashion design career behind, because it gave me so many experience, and I'm really like, I recognize it, and I'm grateful for everything that I've learned in fashion, and all the places that I've visited in fashion. And fashion design is like, you need to set yourself to work with big teams. You won't do anything alone, you know. So you need to understand opinions, different opinions. You need to be able to talk with someone, to give your point of view, to be listened, and to listen as well. So this is so important for my work today, because without communication you can do nothing, and by ourselves we can do nothing as well. And fashion design teach you, if you are a good fashion designer, you will probably learn to be organized, because you need to be organized to create and draw a collection, because it was like I needed to create like 200 models for each collection or more. So you need to be a good person on your planning, The calendar needs, you have a calendar to follow, and you have a lot of things that happens in the day life. You know, this day something blows up, you don't have the textile anymore, or the buttons are in the wrong color, so you need to be so creative to resolve problems. Sometimes we say that a fashion designer is like a problem resolver, because it's so many things that happen, like, oh, your textile won't arrive in time because the ship of China had flooded, I don't know. And you have to think what you're going to do, because it's your responsibility. You're just a fashion designer, you're not the leader of the team, but it's your problem. You need to, the
Mhm.
the clothes need to be there on time to show, to sell. So these things are so important, were so important for me, because as I work by myself, only by myself, I need to be so organized, you know, to follow the calendar and to have time to create something new, create the demand project, and take care of my Instagram account, my website, and respond to emails, you know, and package the orders. You need to be organized. And fashion will be always a reference for me. Like I still watches the runways, because I love fashion and it's a part of me. You know, I take so much inspiration till today from fashion.
That sounds really wonderful. And what advice would you give to artists who are considering experimenting with unconventional materials, mediums like tapestry?
Uh, don't be scared of what you are doing. I think it's the first thing, because when you are working with something that is not like normal, you need to be brave to try different things. Like tapestry, you won't you you can learn with someone, but if you only follows the things that people teach you, you will be doing more of the same, because it's like I can sit on my loom and organize it following a drawn or a, a point that already exists. Let's, but then I will just be doing something that it's on the books, it's on a lot of people works, and it will be just like craft, you know. It's okay to be a craft work, but if you want to put yourself, to give identity to what you are doing, you need to try different things all the time, and have the courage to try, and understand that sometimes not everything that you will create will be art. And the study, the practice is so important, because sometimes you are just trying something new, and then you think, this is working. Okay, I can do something like I always do, but add this new thing, and this will give you like field to work, you know. It's like I think for all the arts is a little bit like this. You always need to try new things, but in textile there are so many options. If you change the the fiber that you are working, you will have a different result. If you change the tension that you put on your loom, you will have a different result. So you can, of course, you can pass all your life doing the same things, like the same technique. But you can as well, if you want, try something new. And yes, not everything will work. Sometimes you will make something that is you will like to hide, but it's it's like this is learning, and we need to learn all the all every day, because this is how we grow.
My last question, what would you like to know at the very beginning of your artistic journey?
Sorry,
What
I was
would
I,
you like to know at the very beginning of your artistic journey? What would you say to yourself when you were just charting out this career as a designer, as an artist?
what I would say for myself when I was
Mm-hmm.
starting.
Yes.
Continue. Like never stop. If you need, sometimes I think that people see our work as artists, like, oh, such a good life. She goes there and sometimes and creates something, and oh, so nice. She's on the magazines and inside fairs, and she sells her work abroad and on her country. But hello, it's a work as any other. You have to work. It's like I'm here at my studio all the days. I I I come here every day, and you need to continue doing, because a life of an artist is not based in 5 years, 10 years. It's like I have this inside me. I'm just starting. I'm 10 years doing what I'm doing, and I am just starting my journey because I have so many things to learn and to try and to failure and to win. And for this all to happen, I need to continue what I'm doing. It's like, don't be scared of the medium, of the colors, because people sometimes are like, oh, the colors that you use are so unusual, and how does it work? You should do something more neutral. And I'm not afraid of the Pantone. It's like, don't be scared of the things you have in your way, and always continue and keep learning. You don't know everything. Nobody does, and no one will do anything perfect. Like, the perfection is something that we want to reach, but no one will reach it. So it's better to do today what you can do today, the best way you can do it, than just show or just start when everything is perfect, or when your space is perfect and you have the perfect studio and the perfect uh, techniques. No, just start. Just put yourself in this, put your soul in this, and you will see results.
Louisa, thank you so much for encouragement and for sharing your story. I'm sure it's really can inspire other beginner artists, designers who want to try a new medium, especially if it's not unconventional one, because sometimes it's hard to find examples in real life. And thank you so much for sharing your story today.
Thank you, Paulina. Thank you for inviting me. It was like so nice. It's so nice to be here and have known your work and see what you are doing with the community of art. I think that community is a word for us to keep in mind, because we need to help each other, and competition, of course, it exists, but we need to help each other, because this is what we are doing in life. I know, like, you do such a beautiful work, like interviewing different artists
Thank
and
you.
teaching people
Thank you.
how to draw and how to be themselves. So I really want to congratulate you for what you are doing
Thank you so much. Thank
here.
you.
You're
Have a
welcome.
nice day. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.